Welcome back to Less Cash, More Mash. My name's Tom, and today's whiskey's name, Evan Williams. So my son reached into the bag of goodies over there and pulled out this little gem. I've had this before. Now, when I drank it before, I threw it on ice and just guzzled it down. I wasn't trying to get any flavor. I just remember it being a decent whiskey. But a little story about it. I was looking at the bottle to try to find out. I figured it was 80 proof. I didn't realize that the black label is 86 proof. So it's a little higher proof than all the other ones that I've tried so far. But when I bought it originally, actually, I bought it in a Fort Knox of liquor stores down in Montgomery, Alabama. I've never been in a more secure liquor store in my life. It had bulletproof glass. You couldn't touch a bottle. You had to slip your card through a slot to bring it back. But anyways, so funny story about it. I just looked at it, and it looks very much like Jack Daniels. So I assumed it was, I used to drink rum. I used to drink Bacardi rum. Now, anyone who's a Bacardi rum drinker, if you find Ron Roberto, tastes just like Bacardi, but it's half the price. So I assumed that's what Evan Williams was a Jack Daniels knockoff. So I was reading the side of the bottle here, and it says Evan Williams set up its distillery on the banks of the Ohio River in 1783 and is historically recognized as Kentucky's first distiller of bourbon. I did not know that. I assumed Jack Daniels was, the number one, and I was actually shocked when I read that. So that's actually a interesting little tidbit that I found today. So I'm excited to try this again. I've had this a long time ago, but I really don't remember anything about it. I just remember saying, ooh, that's not a bad. That's a pretty good one. Ooh. I'm obviously missing something. I have to start pre-opening these. There we go. I was actually shocked. That actually threw me for a loop. Sorry about that. I had a little pause there. It threw me for a loop that these guys were actually the originators. But then again, I've always heard of the 1783. I believe that's, well, there's a few of them out there that are all numbers. I'm going to end up trying to get them all. And I'm wondering if it's an Evan Williams product if it's on it. But we'll find out. I'm going to keep looking anyway. So let's give this one a try. See, it smells good though. See, I associate everything. I was trying to get better at smelling stuff. So I'm not a baker, but I do have a little cabinet with all the bacon. I was smelling molasses, and I was smelling brown sugar, and I was smelling vanilla. And I'm smelling all of it. Like this, that's what I keep getting in it. Let me take a sip. This one has a little spice to it. Like you can taste like it has like a little, it didn't go down. It's not spice as in heat. It's actually very, very easily to drink, but it has a lot more flavor and taste. I think actually a lot more flavor and taste than all the other ones that I've tried in the back. I forgot to look. I actually wrote down, this is a 750 milliliter. It is $14.99. And this has a longer life inside of you. It lingers in you. The flavor lingers in a lot longer than the other ones had too. Let me take a second sip. Last time I got better flavors that way. This one, it almost, it's not as much of it has a lot more smell coming off it than the other ones that I did. And I smell like a caramel, but it doesn't smell like a Werther's candy caramel. It smells a little bit different. And I can't point it. It's almost, I was smelling the vanilla, and it's almost like a meat of the caramel and the vanilla together. This one, it's nice. It warms you up on the inside when you drink it down. This one so far, hands down, 2 sips in and a lot more flavor. I was really liking the Wild Turkey when I did it yesterday, and I think this is going to take my new #1 spot because I did remember it being a good tasting bourbon, and it is. It is, and because I was actually shocked when I bought it, because I remember I bought a handle of it, and it was around $20 or $21, $22 when I had bought it, and I was actually pleasantly surprised because again back then I was drinking mostly cheap Scotch, and but this, like I said, this was like the Fort Knox of liquor stores, and it was right down the street from the Capitol building, and. We ended up going in and toured. I don't know if it was the Capitol. I think it was the Capitol building. And but it was actually a really good I remember that getting it more than I remember drinking the actual whiskey, because I've never seen a liquor store that you couldn't touch anything. I don't know if it was a high crime area that you had to slip my credit card through. She rang it up, she put my credit card back through, and they stuck it in like a drop. They opened it up, I took it from the other side. I was like, okay, thank you. This one's delicious. This so much more flavor that comes off. And as I say, the mouthfeel of it, it's a little. I want to say thicker. It like coats your tongue more. It doesn't just slide down. It actually. It sits on you, and it lingers longer than the other ones did. I'm trying to pick out other flavors. I apologize. I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it until I get better, that I am officially a whiskey noob. And when it comes to and part of the reason I'm doing this is I really want to see if I can get better at picking up the flavors and the taste. I mean, I know this one has a lot more flavor, and part of the reason too why I'm doing it, and hopefully anyone who joins in will do it with me, as far as now that I have them. I went through and I drank them like some from each one yesterday, and that was kind of what I want to do to compare. And hands down, they're in an order for a reason, because the Wild Turkey had a lot more flavor than 10 High, which had a lot more flavor than the early times. And this one, as of right now, is so much better than all of them. It really is. This one has a ton of flavor. I'm getting like a caramel vanilla mix. That's what I'm getting out of it. I noticed yesterday too, when I was done with the glass, I smell like what smells like the bowl of oatmeal when you're done eating it. It always has that oatmeal smell. This was a sour mash too, and for those of you like myself that don't know what a sour mash is, it's actually, they take the old mash from a previous distill, and they add it to a new mash, and it keeps carrying on, kind of like that bread that you take a little bit of the dough to each bread that goes on forever. But is how I understand what a sour mash is. And that's what the 10 High also has, but really it adds, I don't know if it has anything to do with that, or it actually is this one, I think they had a statement on there. I looked at too. I want to say that this was a 4-year, thought I read it somewhere. Call me a liar. This bourbon is aged and charcoal filtered for smoother. See, that's why even when you read it, I remember reading this side of the thing before, and it said it was charcoal filtered, and I know that's Jack Daniel's claim to fame, where it's charcoal filter, and I know they don't want to be called a bourbon, so I haven't ever. I think I had Gentleman Jack once, but I don't think I've ever had Jack Daniels, so stay tuned for that. I really want to see, because I really thought Evan Williams was like a JD knockoff, and I liked it the last time. I remember liking it, and I really like it this time. And hands down, it's the best one I've drank so far. So if you have never had it, and it's the cheapest one I've got so far, so that's even better. I'm actually shocked that for the price, like I said, this is a $7.50, and it was $14.99, and it's delicious. It's absolutely delicious. So there you go. There is my review. This takes the top spot. And again, I'm going to try to get better at picking out the things. I'm going to keep practicing, because I want to be able to taste everything. And I am tasting a lot. I just don't know. It's all muddled together. But flavor-wise and taste-wise, this is absolutely, to me, this is absolutely delicious. This has a nice flavor, and surprisingly, at 86 proof, you can't tell it's any different than the 80 proofs. It actually goes down easier, but it does give you a little, as some like to call it, the Kentucky hug. You can feel it like that when you don't feel it when you swallow. Like this, I found with the early times, you had heat right off the bat in your mouth in the whole way. This one, you don't feel it until it gets down, and it just like warms you up on the inside. And I really like that about that. But so there you go. This one is my new favorite right now. This would definitely, this is definitely a daily drinker. This is really good. I always thought, when I've seen other people talk about it, they always said like the regular Black Label Evan Williams is something that you would mix. This would be great mixed with like Coke if you want to dilute it at any bit, because it has a really strong bourbon flavor, and the Coke would just add to it would add a sweetness to it. But on its own, this is delicious. Again, I used to drink it on ice. I drank everything on ice, and I don't feel like I need that at all with this one. It's so smooth, as people hate to hear, going down, that I wouldn't want to dilute this. And one of these times, and if anyone wants to see that, let me know. I do want to get like a straw and some water up here and actually try doing a drop. And maybe I'll do that in one of my next reviews, to see if it brings out a different flavor. Or more, but where I'm not getting I can't pinpoint, because really it smells like a nice, it's like a caramel, but it also smells like the vanilla, like a mixture of that. But those are the common every time bourbon, and I want to say that might have something to do with the barrel that it's aged in anyways. But there you go. I'll keep it short and sweet. Evan Williams, Black Label, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Absolutely delicious. It's going in my #1 spot. And if you haven't tried it like me, or I have tried it, but I haven't had it in a long time, definitely look out for this one. And I can see why they're considered the oldest bourbon around. It's absolutely delicious, and it's great priced. So there you go. That is that. So if you happen to like what you see, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell. I'm going to keep trying to put them out. I went and did a big shopping run, so I have a handful of these, and I'm going to keep going until I can have a generous supply behind me in order to try to do some battles or some whiskey wars or something like that. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, spend less, drink more. Salute. I remembered this time, John.